Good afternoon, traders. This is Tony D from the easyMarkets dealing room. I've got an update for you today. We've had a market reversal during the Asian session. Very uncommon to have this, actually. It's not a normal situation unless there's some sort of big news, and big news we got out of China this morning. It's exactly the same time as the Australian jobs numbers came out. So that's 11:30 local time. We did get an announcement, a headline, that China was sending Commerce Ministry team to the US for talks in late August, led by the Vice Minister of Commerce, and this is seen as a huge step positive because before this there wasn't any communication between the US and the Chinese, at least on an official level, and now we've got the chance of some sort of talk, some sort of potential deal, a breakthrough, hope of a deal, and this can drive the market for multiple sessions and multiple weeks, just on the chance alone relative to what we had before this, which was no dialogue, no way out. And now we've got a way out. You can see the market is taking that, running with that very aggressively. In terms of the movement that's most impressive, the dollar CNH has reversed sharply from 6.96, so that's a high of the year so far, down to 6.87. And remember that this is very closely linked to the gold price, and so gold is having a sharp rally off lows. Gold actually had a capitulation move this morning, all the way down from 1170 to 1161. Bit of a low liquidity, no news, just breakout and flip down the bottom there. Now this has led to the market pretty sharply being caught short here, and potentially at day highs right now as we go into Europe as they digest this new story. This story, in terms of the positioning and timing, is very perfect here to cause a squeeze because it isn't early in the sell-off. This is a few weeks in to that negativity that has been driving that euro and Aussie and the US dollar to year highs. So the US dollar itself is having a reversal as well. You can check the US dollar index there. You can see pretty sharp reversal from the high 96s down to 96.30 to begin with. I mean, it doesn't have to be an ultra aggressive move coming from the US dollar, but just some sort of stopping of the rally itself will put in potential range trading as well. So you can see the new range being established. So maybe the bottom's in terms of the short-term bottom anyway on the Aussie, the pound, and the euro. But now we're trying to find that top side. It doesn't have to turn into a huge rally, but at least in the short squeeze, those short squeezes to begin with can last 2 or 3 days, and that could be the game. Now, in terms of what is happening with the Aussie dollar, there was data today about our jobs numbers. Those jobs numbers were weak, but like I said, it came out at the same time as you did see the headline from China. So you saw the initial move lower, reversed very sharply higher, and we're at day highs. Obviously, the Australian dollar is very closely related to how China's sentiment is, and China's sentiment is peaking today. So you do see that little risk up, and the Aussie dollar is coming off year lows as well. So that potential to retest the breakdown levels of 73, 73.10 is definitely on the cards in the short term. The yen is traditionally a safe haven, so when risk is on, it does get sold, and you are seeing that come through on the crosses more than the major, but you are seeing the yen crosses. So the euro back off 125 euro yen, Aussie yen bounced off 80, and this is a big level as well, 80. If that holds, that's going to add to the case that the market's found a short-term bottom. We just have to see if there's any sort of endorsement of this new risk on this new idea of talks from the US side. We've seen the announcement come from China. We haven't seen too much from the US yet. Whether they're optimistic, that will also add to the rally. If they're optimistic, if they throw cold water on this, then it could be a little bit of a 1 or 2 day event only. Other than that, the lira crisis, which had been driving a little bit of sentiment early in the week, has subsided a lot. You know, you've seen the dollar lira fall back a good 20% from the highs, and so that is significant selling. I mean, if something moved 20% in a few days, it would be definitely catching the attention of everyone. It's just that before it jumped 20%, it dropped 30%. So, you know, you are seeing just a stabilization of this. Looks like Qatar is stepping in to lend out a hand to its neighbor and ally. So you are seeing dollar lira. Once I found it, I'll bring that up there. Dollar lira has dropped sharply back from the 7 and is underneath the 6 at the moment. So that's interesting developments there from the lira, and stabilization could lead to some sort of emerging market crisis, pulling back from the brink, because a lot of the other emerging countries had been targeted as well in the last couple of days. So stabilization here, if there isn't follow through, could mean that this was a little bit of a flash in the pan. Alright guys, if you do want to have a further chat about some of the crosses that are developing, what the best way to play this China's news is, call us on the number below. If you do want to sign up and have a dealer assist you with your trading, click on the link below and someone will assist you with that as well.